It's Storytime Secrets Revealed. Hi everyone, I'm Jacob. I'm the CowHatLibrarian, and I talk a lot about books here and whether they're suitable for story time or what you might pair them with in a particular story time, but I haven't actually talked about basic storytime skills. And I think that's kind of an important thing for new library staff members, new teachers, and even new parents who aren't sure how to go about reading a book to an audience. Now, there's one thing I'll cover as far as technique goes, the physical holding and handling of a book while you're doing story time. And then I'll get into my favorite metaphor for explaining and reminding people how to conduct story time. So first off, here's the book. And it's my all-time favorite. It's a Tiger by David La Rochelle and illustrated by Jeremy Tankard. Now, when I'm reading a book for story time, I'll hold the book like this. I have my main hand underneath the center of the book with a couple fingers on each side. My thumb is on the back, helping to hold the book up, because it leaves my offhand free to gesture across the pages, free to turn the pages, and I'm still in full control of the book and able to show it to people. A lot of new storytellers will try to read the book like this, where it's both harder for you to turn your head to read the words if you're unclear on them, and much harder to turn pages while you retain that grip. But if you've got your hand under the book like this, supporting it from the center, you're in much better control, and it's much easier to turn the book to show your audience, or for you to take a look at the words on the page while you're reading. So just keep that in mind. I usually keep my offhand when I'm not in the middle of turning pages, just sort of at the corner here, helping to balance things. Now, I will say this will be affected a bit by the size of the book and the size of your hands. I know when I've tried to read big books like this, they don't work quite so well, but in general, for average size books, average size hands, this is going to work really well for an awful lot of people. Now, as far as the actual reading goes, this is my favorite metaphor to describe it. I would like you to take a minute and imagine a remote control. And I'll probably animate one and put it on the screen right here. If you're of the older generation like me, you might think of a VCR remote. If you're a little younger, you might think of a DVD player remote or a DVR remote. Or alternatively, you might think of the remote app on your phone that controls your favorite streaming device. Now, just imagine that this remote has all the standard buttons. Imagine it has one additional button labeled Advanced Slow Motion. And that's the key for storytime success. Advanced slow motion. Read the book in advance, read the book slowly, and read the book with motion and emotion. And I'll show you exactly what I mean. So to start with, anytime you have an opportunity, read the book in advance before you read it during story time. The main reason is so that you know the general tone of the story. You know if there are any big gotcha moments that will surprise the audience, so you can wait and build anticipation. And importantly, so you don't read the story in the complete wrong tone for its message. Back when I worked at the public library, we had a lot of birthday cards go around and circulate. And I was just about to write congratulations on your birthday on another card when the person warned me, actually their mom died. So they warned me in time, and pre-reading the book in advance is your warning for that sort of thing. Now, the other thing is, if you're caught in the last minute thing where your children's librarian is sick and you're filling in at the last minute, even if you're taking a quick page through while people are getting ready and settling in for story time, that'll be enough for you to sort of get the pace of the book and the tone, and that'll be enough to make your way through it. And that's just fine. Just, if you can, read the book in advance. That's the first step. Now, the second thing is to read slowly. And that's a hard one, especially for new storytellers. As a new storyteller, I was very concerned that my audience, the children and parents in attendance, would be bored if I didn't go fast enough, that they needed me to keep their attention and keep the pages turning. And it ultimately backfired very, very badly. I would go in to cover for one of my colleagues and I would bring 3 extra picture books in and I'd rocket through them trying to make sure I didn't bore anyone, I didn't lose anyone. But in the process, I sort of wrecked their enjoyment of the books. They didn't have a chance to appreciate the pictures. They didn't have a chance to have anticipation build for what's happening in the next page. So as an example, I'm just going to read a quick page here from It's a Tiger. Are you ready for a story? Me too. We'll start in the jungle, where the tall trees grow and the monkeys swing from vine to vine. Wait a minute. That's not a monkey. That looks like a tiger! Run! Now, if I had just whipped through that at the same pace and didn't leave room to breathe, the contrast between this gentle beginning to the book and the shock of the character discovering a tiger would be really, really diminished. If I'm leaping through things, I don't give time for kids to discover that tiger tail for themselves and wonder about what could be up there and realize, uh-oh, there's a giant cat in that jungle waiting to pounce. And if you rush through your storytelling, you kind of ruin all that stuff for the audience. Take your time, breathe, let it simmer, let them enjoy the pace and enjoy the pictures and have time to think about what might be coming next. They'll get a lot more enjoyment out of it. And if you're reading this way, you're not going to lose them. Now, the last part of my advanced slow motion thing is motion. Read with motion and emotion. And what I mean by that is don't be afraid to pantomime. Don't be afraid to move with the book and point things out and help express the feelings of the book through your actions. It's going to add extra depth to the story, and it can help make sure that readers don't miss stuff. If maybe they're on the younger side for a particular book, you can make sure they see the elements that are hidden in the pictures, especially when you're reading in a storytime setting, when they maybe aren't as close to the pictures as they normally would be to view them. Now, as for the emotion side of it, we have all been there in the crowd when a guest storyteller is doing their thing, whether it's the local hockey team or a member of mayor and council, and they honestly aren't very good at it. And they have other things to be good at. Not everyone can be a good storyteller, but in part it's because they read in a dull monotone. Yikes, he's gaining on us. Our only chance is to leap for that rope. Swing across the canyon, now let go, whump. We made it. Good thing we landed someplace soft. There's no motion. There's no emotion. There's nothing there. They're telling the story, but they're relying very, very heavily on the pictures and the audience's imagination to carry it. Now, let's compare that to how I would normally read this page. Yikes! He's gaining on us. Our only chance is to leap for that rope and swing across the canyon. Now let go. Whoomp! We made it! Good thing we landed someplace soft. A bed of flowers? A pile of leaves? A giant orange and black pillow? No. We landed on top of a tiger! Now we're really in trouble. You see the difference? If you're reading with motion and emotion, it's going to be much easier to draw your audience into the story and have them care about what's happening. Your voice can serve as sort of a third pillar holding up the storytime experience between the text and the illustrations and the power you're putting into it with your performance. So those are the 3 things that I consider essential storytime skills, all in this one handy dandy remote button. So just remember it, folks, advanced slow motion, because that metaphor is going to get you through your next dozen or so story times. With that, thank you for listening to me ramble about storytime skills. By all means, please like, please subscribe, and please check back and see what else I have to talk about from the CowHat Library. Thank you. Bye now.